So I'm Mike Carpenter. I am Executive Director of the Plow Foundation here in Memphis. Yeah, I was fortunate to be selected along with my good friend Deborah Clubb as Crime Victims Advocate of the Year, and it was for work around the creation of a domestic violence court, a dedicated domestic violence court in Shelby County, to handle only domestic violence cases with somewhere in the neighborhood of 25,000 domestic violence calls a year. There was a tremendous need for a court that was victim-centered and focused just on those cases. At the same time, we were in the process of trying to establish a family safety center, a safe place for victims to go and to get services and help that they need to break away from an abusive relationship, an abusive situation, and to protect their families. And so both of those things began to come to fruition in that year, and so that's why we were selected for that award. We all know, at least we know now, that kids are affected by violence that they see even at a very, very young age. And I didn't realize it at the time, but growing up in an abusive family where my stepfather abused my mother for 20 years, that impact on me, I think, led me to advocate for victims here. The fear was real, and we experienced it every day in our household. Some days were good days, some days were bad days, but that cloud of fear was always there. We were always scared that we were going to do the wrong thing, and there was going to be an outburst. There was going to be an attack, and so that's always stayed with me. And we're paralyzed by fear. I mean, it's hard to function, hard to go about your daily activities. Hard to make a living, hard to enjoy the things in life that you're supposed to enjoy when you've always got that cloud hanging over you, that cloud of fear. So I just wanted to take that experience and try to do something as an adult that I couldn't do as a kid, and that's help victims that are suffering the same kind of abuse that I was familiar with. So there are approximately 25,000 calls to City of Memphis 911 that are domestic violence calls, and those that's a tremendous number of calls. Many of those calls are repeat calls. We know that on average that it takes a victim 7 times making that call before he or she decides to leave that situation. And so the problem is pervasive throughout our community. In my own family, we went to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Sunday night. My stepfather led worship in the church, was a deacon, and so the idea that domestic abuse violence only happens to poor people, only happens to minorities, only happens to people with certain jobs in certain neighborhoods is false. And we see that in these calls. These calls are spread out all across our community, and we see it. The police see it every night. That it's someone who is fearing for their lives, and they look different, and they come from different economic backgrounds. They have different jobs, and they put on a happy face for when they go to the grocery store, when they go to the community, when they show up at church, when they drop their kids at school. But it's happening. It's happening next door. It's happening with people that that you see every single day.